Hey, kia ora, Helen Brahms here, coming to you live from Fayetteville, Arkansas. Hope you're all having a super fantastic sparkling day. We have had an awesome start to our day, been out for a fantastic walk this morning. A little windy, which is why the hair looks, mind you, I have been sitting with headphones on. A good walk this morning, great training this morning. Still got a lot of training to come. I have an accountability call in 15 minutes. And then I'm into 2 hours of training. I'm starting a workshop today about how to be interviewed and how to give interviews. So that's going to be awesome. And I am super excited. So I hope you're all having a super fantastic sparkling start to your day. So what are your challenges today? Well, for your mindset, we started this one kind of yesterday with helping you get creative and focused and all that. But today I want you to use your non-dominant hand as much as you can. Pick up a pen with if you're right-handed, pick up a pen with your left-handed. If you're left-handed, pick up your pen with your right hand. And use that today. So find things that you naturally do with your dominant hand and start training your non-dominant hand on how to do things. It gives you a different things. Something as simple as, brushing your hair, you probably usually do something like this. Well, how about switching hands and doing this? Okay, non-dominant hand. Usually I hold the phone with my left hand. Now I'm holding it with my right hand. Gives you a completely different outlook, but I think this side looks better. I think I look better from the left than I do from the right, but, I'm switching it up. It feels really weird, but it is what it is, because I am practicing with my non-dominant hand today. For your business, for your mindset, it's all about using your non-dominant hand. For your business, it is all about following up with your clients today. When did you last reach out to them and touch them and say, hi, how are you? Are there quotes out there that you need to follow up on? Are there proposals out there, invoices and stuff that you just need to follow up on, see how they're doing, and just make sure you're staying in contact with them. If you've got quotes out there, what's their reaction? Have you followed up in the right time frame, being usually 24 hours, but sometimes you got to do 48 hours. When I'm doing travel and I send them out itineraries and stuff, I like to give them 48 hours. But when I send them the quotes, I let them know, hey, here's the quote you requested. I'm going to call you on this day and time unless I hear from you beforehand. If this day and time does not suit, then please let me know, because otherwise I'm putting it in my calendar to call you at that day and time. So follow up with clients that you've sent quotes to. When you're sending those quotes or invoices out, let them know when you're going to follow up with them, so that they know and that you've got it in your calendar so you don't let it fall through the cracks. For your fun activity today, I was doing my genealogy yesterday and I thought, we've had you kind of starting your family tree a while ago, just with you, your parents, your grandparents. But who are your great-grandparents? We're talking about the grandparents of your parents. So your mum and dad, who are their grandparents? Who will then be your great-grandparents. So who are they? When were they born? What did they live through? My great-grandparents, I only knew one set. I'm trying to think. Yeah. I only ever met one set of great-grandparents. You have 4, because each parent has 2 sets of grandparents, okay? So you've got your father's parents, your father's mother's parents, your mother's father's parents, and your mother's mother's parents. So there's 4 sets of great-grandparents, and I gotta go back the other way, my shoulder's killing me. Right, I gave it a go. I still think this side looks better. What do you think? This side? Or this side? What do you think? Now tell us which one. So who are your 4 sets of great-grandparents? Out of my 4 sets of great-grandparents, I only ever met one set that I recall. I'm trying to remember. Most of them were gone before I was born. My granny and pop didn't pass away till in the 70s. So I did get to know them. I still remember visiting their their house that they had. It was this old Victorian style with this great wraparound porch at the front there. They had coloured stained glass down the sides of their front door, so you could go up. And I remember looking out through the blue square and everything outside was blue. You look through the yellow and everything's yellow. And having fun just doing that. And but yeah, I do remember visiting them at their places and stuff. And we used to have fun there visiting the great-grandparents. So, what memories have you ever met your great-grandparents? Are they still around? Some great-grandparents are around. There was an article, what was it, like 2 or 3 years ago? Yeah, Brad was still alive, so it's probably 3 or 4 years ago. That was a 6-generation photograph. So think about that, 6 generations. My sister-in-law, she has a 5-generation photograph with her mum, her daughter, her daughter's daughter, and then her great-granddaughter. 5 generations. But you think about it, this photograph was 6 generations of women. The oldest one was 106 and the youngest one was 6 weeks. It was an incredible photograph, and it had what everybody's ages were. When I see that, my eyes just light up and think of, oh my gosh, look at all of the family history right there, the stories they could tell about the families that they can pass down through generations. You got those generation stories that just pass down through the generations and stuff. So who were your great-grandparents? What did they do? My great-grandparents were around during, they were born, Granny was born in 1900. One of my great-grandfathers was born in 1877. So, going back, what did they live through? And one grandfather I can think of at the moment was born in 1877 in London, England. And his mum brought him out in the early 1880s. And he was a gunsmith. And he ended up being the captain at Fort Balance in Wellington during World War One. No, World War One? Yeah, World War One. But he was a gunsmith in Wellington. So that was one of my great-grandfathers. I never got to meet him, but his story is fascinating. Why did they come out here? Her husband had passed away and left her with a baby, and actually, it wasn't a baby. He was because the father passed away in 1878 and he was born in 1877. So what stories have you got about your great-grandparents? Who were they? Where did they come from? Were they born here in the States? Were they born elsewhere and immigrated? Were they the ones that moved to another country? My great-grandfather, he came out from England. Granny and Pop were born in New Zealand. I'm trying to think where Alice was born. Where was Alice born? I'm trying to remember where my relatives were born. But some were born in England and some were born in New Zealand. So it was pretty cool, just going back through that and learning out where they came from and everything else. So who are your great-grandparents? That's your fun. So your mindset today is use your non-dominant hand. This is my non-dominant hand for holding my photograph, holding my phone while I do a live. Like I said, I still think this side's better than this side. This side's way better. I think this side's way better looking than this side is. What do you think? Left or right? Anyway, I'm going back to the side. So today's about using learning to use your non-dominant hand, and your business is all about following up with your clients. Get those quotes out. Follow up on those quotes with the clients and everything else. Also, if you don't have quotes out with your clients, just reach out and touch them and say, hey, how are you? How you doing? And then on your fun one is, who are your great-grandparents? Go learn about your great-grandparents. You'll have 8 people you're going to learn about because you've got 4 sets of great-grandparents. So go learn about them. Who are they? Where did they come from? What did they do? When were they born? When did they die? Are they still around? If they're still around, find out information about what it was like to grow up when they were kids. If they are still around, you have an opportunity to go there and sit and talk with them and learn about life, what life was like. Were they born here in the States? What was it like growing up in the States? What historical events did they live through? If they came from overseas, what made them come to this country? So there's all sorts of fun things you could be asking your great-grandparents if they are still around. But have fun with it. Find out who your great-grandparents are, because go add to your tree, because we started off with you and your parents